paper! Miss Harriet Vane to face retro! Date fixed for new hearing! Paper, paper!
Charles, what have you found?
Look, Peter, I don't want you to become too optimistic.
Damn it, man, you get Bunter to track me halfway across London. You must have found something.
Philip Boys, the missing 10 minutes.
Ah.
We found the pub, and it seems that there was a man there who fits a description.
A man who answers the description of Boys.
What's more, feeling ill and producing a packet of white powder.
The arsenic.
Could have been arsenic.
Wonderful, excellent news.
I knew you'd react like this.
But why not, my own?
Because I am convinced that this suicide theory you have about Boys is rubbish.
Rubbish?
Your vision's clouded because of her, Harriet Vane. Peter, can you tell me in all honesty that you're not allowing your judgment to be affected by your emotions?
Yes, I can.
Peter.
Not arsenic.
Bicarbonate of soda.
Bicarbonate of soda, how wonderfully mundane.
Anticlimactic, to say the least.
So I was wrong about Philip then. Killing himself. Now it looks more than ever as if I did it.
You mustn't give way.
It's easy to say.
I can tell you I've come up with something very interesting. Something that could easily
Peter,
lead...
please.
What?
Don't. Please don't, you know. Tell me things to give me hope.
No. I'm not making things up to cheer you. I can tell you I'm going straight from here to visit Miss Clemson, a lady of infinite resource.
Peter!
No, really, hear me out. I'm sending her on a mission, and I'm absolutely certain that this one is the key.
Peter, you're very sweet, but...
But me no buts. I'm certain now, really. How's the story coming along?
It isn't. It's too close to me, I suppose.
I was trying to think of something funny to say. I can't.
It'd be awful if you were funny all the time.
Yes, it would, wouldn't it?
Good morning, Lord Peter.
Good morning.
Oh, Lord Peter, I feel rather silly to be caught like this. I just dropped my eraser and it seems to have taken an eccentric bounce.
Forget your eraser, Miss Clemson. I have a job for you.
You seem, Lord Peter, your tone is...
Yes, I'm in a rotten mood. I'm sorry, it's nothing personal. But the fact is I can't think of anyone but your good self to do this job I have in mind, and it's urgent.
Oh, how kind of you to put it like that.
What's more, I don't in the least know how you set about it. It all depends on what you find when you get there.
Might I suggest you sit down, Lord Peter, and try to encapsulate the essence of what it is you wish me to do?
You are to go to Windle in...
Oh, thank you.
Windle in Westmoreland, and seek out a paralysed and imbecile old lady called Mrs. Rayburn. She lives in a house called Appleford. I don't know how you get in there, but there must be somebody who looks after her. Perhaps that's the way in. But anyway, you have to get in and find out where her will is kept, and when you've got it, you're to read it and let me know what the contents are.
Oh, dear.
And what's more, you've only got a week to do it in.
That's a very short time.
Miss Vane's life may be at stake. You see, unless I can find a very good reason for delay in the form of new evidence, the case is bound to come up on the 17th.
Dear me.
And I have nothing.
Except for this?
Except this idea, which you must turn into evidence.
Well, one can only do one's best. This investigation of mine is directed, I take it, at Mr. Urquhart.
Yes, he is Mrs. Rayburn's great-nephew.
Yes, I wasn't absolutely sure to what degree they're related.
Find out anything at all to his disadvantage.
And this imbecile and paralysed old lady, as you describe her, must have some female companion.
Yes, a nurse, possibly?
Yes, and that, I think, is where I could play the Trojan horse.
The sleuth in sheep's clothing.
When do I start?
Cards simply aren't working for me at all this evening, Bunter. Third hand I played and never once looked like getting out.
Hardly surprising, my lord.
As you say. Hardly surprising, and it would be the Queen of Spades.
I shouldn't attach too much importance to it, my lord.
I'm hardly at home to anyone, Bunter.
Shall I ignore it, my lord?
No, better see who it is.
Evening, Bunter. Lord Peter at home?
Hardly at home to anyone. Evening, Mr. Freddy. Come in.
Thank you, Bunter. Evening, old bean.
Dear old thing. Welcome surprise. How goes the world? Have a drink. Give Bunter your coat.
No, I can't stay. En passant, as the Frenchies say. No, I
Time
actually...
for the tot, surely.
Scotch, Mr. Freddy.
No, mustn't linger. Call by really to give you the dope on Urquhart. Just got it from my chappie that he did do a pretty high dive into Megatherium Trust and therefore must have lost a considerable packet.
That is good news.
One man's misfortune and all that.
Now I can hope only that Miss Climpson is storming the battlements.
The battlements.
Well, Lord Peter, at the third attempt, I found this quite suitable boarding house. It is very well run and refined, and there are 3 elderly ladies who are permanent boarders here, and are well up in all the gossip of the town, so that nothing could be more advantageous for our purpose. This morning, I went out for a little voyage of discovery. I found a very helpful policeman in the town square and asked him where I might find Mrs. Rayburn's house. He knew it quite well and told me to take the omnibus, and it would be a 3-halfpenny ride to the Fisherman's Arms, and then about 15 minutes' walk. So I followed his directions, and the bus took me right out into the country. I made further inquiries concerning the house from the conductor, and once again he was most helpful and polite, and told me which direction I should take to the Rayburn house. I looked at it from the road for some little time, and then decided I must get a closer look. The grounds are enormous. It was a delightful walk up the long private road that approached the house, but I began to feel a little uneasy, in case my presence might cause suspicion to the inhabitants. The garden seemed very neglected, and as I drew nearer, I could see that most of the blinds were drawn, as though the greater part of the house was uninhabited. I could certainly not see anybody about. I turned away and was considering what I should do next, when something prompted me to turn back. It was most fortunate that I did. This person turned out to be Miss Booth, nurse and guardian to Mrs. Rayburn, and reputedly with an interest in spiritualism. Also my friend Mrs. Pegler, a very stout, fussy old lady with a very busy tongue, informed me. I then discovered that Miss Booth was in the habit of frequenting a cafe in Windle called the Oriental.
just telling you about Aunt Peggy. You know, she's got this...
Excuse me, does this little package belong to you? I picked it up just outside the door.
No, it's not ours. She's got this little...
Excuse me, is this little parcel yours?
No, it isn't mine. So kind of you, but I only have 2 articles, and they're both here.
Oh, how very odd. I thought sure someone must have dropped it coming in here. I wonder what I'd better do with it. I shouldn't think it's very valuable, but one never knows.
You could hand it into the cashier in case the owner comes back.
Oh, how clever of you. You must think me very foolish, but the idea never occurred to me. Not very practical, I'm afraid. I could never take up your profession, could I? And a little emergency leaves me quite bewildered.
It's largely a question of training. And self-training too, of course. All these little weaknesses can be cured by placing the mind under higher control, don't you think that?
Yes, I suppose that's true.
Such a mistake to imagine that anything in the mental sphere is either large or small. Our least thoughts and actions are equally directed by higher centres of spiritual power, if we can bring ourselves to believe that.
What would you like to order, madam?
Oh, dear. I seem to have intruded myself on your table.
Oh, don't get up, please.
Oh, really? You're quite sure? I don't wish to interrupt you.
Not at all. I live a very solitary life, always glad for a friend to talk to.
Oh, how very nice. Well, I'll have scones and butter and a pot of tea, please.
Thank you, Mum. Yours is just coming, Mum.
Pardon me, but I see you're a student of spiritualism.
A very elementary student.
Isn't it a wee bit dangerous? I have been told I'm a sensitive myself, but I've never dared to try.
It's not dangerous if you know the right way. Unfortunately, I'm not mediumistic myself. Did you say you have mediumistic qualities?
Well, I have been told so,
You're
yes,
obviously
but
a very sympathetic person. It's quite possible we could get good results if we sat together, and the spirits are pathetically eager to communicate.
Oh, but I must tell you,
I wouldn't like to try unless I was sure of the person. There are so many fraudulent mediums around. But with someone like yourself, one would be absolutely safe.
Well, I'm not sure.
Oh, please, I do know we are a sympathetic blend.
Oh, well, I'm willing to try.
Good.
I have stormed the citadel. I am going to the house tonight, and you may expect great things. In haste to catch the evening post, yours very sincerely, Catherine A. Climpson. ever-loving Harry. Harry? First-class frame, pride of place, fresh flowers. I think Harry's passed over. Yes.
Sorry to keep you waiting. The old dear was particularly trying this evening. But she'll be all right now for a couple of hours.
Good. Perhaps we can make a start.
Oh, yes. Straight away. I'm so eager to try. This is the table we usually use.
Do we sit in the light?
Not full light. Strong light shatters the spirit, you see. So I usually use one of these. It's quite bright enough for taking notes, you see.
Will you take them?
Very well. Which side shall you sit?
Oh, this will do for me.
You don't mind the light behind you, then?
No, not at all.
Good. It will help screen the rays from the table, you see.
Yes, that's rather what I thought.
Yes. Right. Ooh. Did you get something?
A feeling like pins and needles in my fingers.
So have I. We'll get something soon.
My wrists ache rather. That's the power coming through. Yes. That's what I thought.
I feel sure there's a power all about us. Oh, I can feel a cold thrill on my spine.
Feeling like as though something were gripping the back of my neck. Don't move. My arms have gone dead from the elbow.
Shh, so have mine. Oh, I'm tingling from head to foot. Oh! 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 Is there a spirit there? Oh. Will you give 1 knock for yes and 2 for no? Are you one of the spirits who have visited me before? Are you speaking on behalf of another spirit? Does he want to speak to my friend? To me, then? Oh. 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 Is it the spirit of a woman? A man? Is it the spirit I've been trying to communicate with? Will you speak to me by means of the alphabet, using 1 knock for A and 2 for B, and so on? What is your name? H. A. Oh! Oh! Is it dear Harry. Are you happy? Yes. No. Oh, Harry, it wasn't my fault, was it? No. Oh, thank you, Harry, because it is true, you know. Well, of course, you must know, mustn't you? Do you have a special message for me? Do you, Harry? Please tell me you do have a special message for me. Harry?
I'm quite exhausted.
Oh, you are a wonderfully strong medium.
Did you get the answers you wanted?
Oh, yes, indeed. Didn't you hear?
I didn't follow it all.
Unfortunately, you just got to the most important question when the power left you. But perhaps after a cup of tea.
Oh, yes, Lucy, a cup of tea would be lovely.
Oh, right away, Catherine, right away. I'll make some tea and have a quick check of Mrs. Raven. Just rest a while. I won't be long.
C-R-E-M.
Do you mean Cremorne?
Cremorne.
Cremorne Garden? Rosanna Rayburn?
I am Rosanna Rayburn, and I seek your help.
Oh, but Mrs. Rayburn, I've just left you. Have you passed over?
No, not yet. In exile.
Are you still in the body?
Not in the body, not out of the body. What you call the mind has departed. The spirit awaits the great change.
You wanted our help. Are you in trouble, Mrs. Rayburn?
Trouble, great trouble. My will.
You want to alter your will?
No, but you must make haste. Send it to Norman.
Norman Urquhart?
Yes, he knows. But make haste, make haste.
The will, is it in the safe?
Make haste.
The will, is it in the safe? Oh, she's left you, hasn't she?
Oh, extraordinary. I never knew I had the gift. I was completely taken over.
Oh, dear. I wish she'd answered about the safe.
Yes, that's a pity, but that's obviously the place to look, isn't it?
Yes, but, there's a combination.
Combination?
Yes, and, I don't know what it is.
Oh, dear.
You have a wonderful gift, Catherine.
Well, I don't know about that, Lucy. It's a pity.
Catherine!
Yes?
You don't think that Mrs. Rayburn has died, do you?
Oh, no. You heard her, waiting for the great change.
Oh, of course. The great change. The little black book.
Little black book?
I've seen Mr. Urquhart consult it.
Do you know where it is?
It's in the dressing table.
Dressing table? Has it got a lock?
Yes, but I know where the key is. Come on. Mrs. Rayburn. We're going to carry out your wishes. Four. Oh. 8. Isn't that splendid?
It was so late, I stayed the night. I was hoping to get the opportunity to steam open the envelope, but unfortunately it didn't occur. I've just left Miss Booth now at the post office, dispatching it to Mr. Norman Urquhart. She wrote an excellent covering letter, which she showed me, explaining the circumstances but mentioning no names. Wasn't that good? Anyway, I'm afraid now, Lord Peter, it's up to our Miss Murchison to uncover the secrets. You must contact her without delay.
I will do that, Miss Clemson. And you've done a wonderful job. Wonderful.
Oh. Is anything the matter, Mr. Pond?
No, nothing. A foolish letter from a foolish member of your sex.
Well, that's nothing new.
Can you read shorthand, Mr. Pond?
No. In my day, that was not considered necessary.
Well, I couldn't quite make out this outline. It looks like give consent to, but it could be give consideration to. There's a difference, isn't there?
There most certainly is.
But perhaps I'd better not risk it. It's got to go off this morning. I'd better ask him.
I've told you, Miss Murchison, I'd like you to knock before entering.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I forgot.
Well, don't let it happen again. Now, what is it?
I couldn't quite make out my shorthand note from your letter to Tuke and Peabody, and I thought it better to come and ask you.
I do wish you'd take your notes more clearly at the time. If I'm going too fast for you, you should tell me. It would save time and trouble in the end, now wouldn't it?
Yes, Mr. Urquhart.
Yes, well, now then. What seems to be the trouble?
Stone walls do not a prison make, nor iron bars a cage. Minds innocent and quiet take that for an hermitage. If I have freedom in my love, and in my soul am free, angels alone that soar above enjoy such liberty.
The real estate is left to Philip Boys, absolutely. £50,000 is left to Philip Boys also, cash.
50,000 cash?
The remainder is left to Norman Urquhart, who's appointed sole executor.
Sole executor who's already gambled away Boys's 50,000 on the Megatherian Trust.
And there you have it. Motive. Motive, Miss Murchison?
Yes, Lord Peter.
I knew there was something fishy about that will. But I still can't understand why, after she was so badly treated by the boy's family...
But there was a relevant paragraph. The greater part of the property is left to Philip Boys in token that the testatrix forgives the ill treatment meted out to her by his family, for which he, Philip, was not responsible.
Rather touching, what? All becomes clear, eh, Freddie?
The will was dated 5th of June, 1920, and the witnesses were Eva Gubbins, housekeeper, and John Briggs, a gardener.
Congratulations, Miss Murchison. We will celebrate immediately with a bottle of pommery.
Before we do, Lord Peter, I think you should see this. There was about 2 ounces of this mysterious white powder in a packet in Mr. Urquhart's safe.
My word. What have we here? This is work for Bunter's darkroom, I'd say.
Working or something?
Lovely, lovely.
Is that arsenic?
I hope so.
It's either arsenic or antimony.
Allow me, my lord. The addition of a small quantity of solute chlorinated lime should decide the question beyond reach of cavil.
Arsenic, definitely.
Of course it's arsenic. Didn't I always say so?
Is that all?
Well, isn't that enough?
Not quite.
Quick, Bunter, pour the champagne. Parker's about to pour the cold water.
We've merely proved that Urquhart has arsenic in his possession. By the way, I notice it's ordinary white arsenious acid without any mixture of charcoal or indigo, which agrees with what was found at the post-mortem. Now, that's satisfactory.
Thank you, Bunter. Help yourself.
Thank you, my lord.
But it would be even more satisfactory if we could provide an opportunity for Urquhart to have administered it. Unfortunately, all we've done so far is demonstrate clearly that he couldn't have given it to Boys during the dinner, i.e. in exactly the period right for the symptoms, when they later appeared. To convince a jury, I should prefer something better than a credo quia impossibile.
Riddle me right and riddle me ree. We've forgotten something, that's all. Probably something quite obvious. Give me the statutory dressing gown, an ounce of shag, and I will endeavour to dispose of this little difficulty in a brace of shakes. In the meantime, Parker, I trust you will stand by to arrest the right man when the moment comes.
Gladly.
got it, Bunter.
Permit me to offer my congratulations, my lord.
Almost. Not quite.
Oh. I couldn't sleep, my lord. I wondered if I could get you anything.
No, thanks. Let's have a cigarette. Been thinking about what appears to be the crux of the matter.
Crux, my lord?
Obviously. It's that last meal between Urquhart and Boys. That's the crux and the key. Sit down, Bud. Now, Hannah Westlock said that nothing that was eaten upstairs wasn't eaten by herself and cook later.
Her actual words, my lord, were, cook and me had just the same, and all as sweet as could be, except, of course, for the omelette.
The omelette. It was made with 4 eggs.
Yes, my lord. And Anna Westlock remarked that one of the eggs was cracked. But they was the last 4 in the house.
The last 4 in the house. One of them was cracked. Through that crack, Bunter, there shines the light of revelation. A light burning with ever-increasing brightness. A light blinding in its intensity.
Would you care for cocoa, my lord?
Hannah Westlock, and your way with the ladies.
My lord.
You are to play upon her susceptibilities once more and discover the name of Urquhart's hairdresser.
Mr. Urquhart's hairdresser.
And when you have found it, you are to pay him a visit. Within the next few hours, the guilty party will be arrested, and Harriet Vane, completely vindicated, will be a free woman.
The retrial is tomorrow, Peter. Are you really that confident?
Absolutely and completely. I would never, I may be a bit of a fool, but never would I make such a statement.
Peter, I do believe you.
Thank you.
It's just hard for it to sink in, you know. It's hard to believe the end of the nightmare.
Yes. It'll take some time. No doubt about it.
You have been wonderful, the way you've supported me and acted on my behalf.
It was nothing. You are the woman I want to spend the rest of my life with. How else could I have behaved?
You're such a romantic, Peter. A sort of latter-day knight-errant, searching for opportunities to perform deeds of valor, rescue damsels in distress.
What's wrong with that?
I've had a lover, Peter. I've been accused of murdering him. I'm not going to rush into another affair.
Marriage?
Marriage affair, what's the difference? It's supposed to be love, isn't it?
I'm sorry.
And I'm sorry. Sorry, I can't say I love you. And even because I do like you. Even if we did get married, it wouldn't be fair to you. So please stop asking me. I don't know. I can't think. I can't see beyond the next 2 weeks. I just want to be out of this, to be left alone. I'm going away. I've always wanted to travel. To Greece, Venice.
You're such a romantic, Harriet. At least I can make you laugh.
And surely that's better than tears.
Yes, Bond. Oh, put him through, please. Ah, Lord Peter, this is an unexpected pleasure. A drink this evening? Oh, I shall be delighted. 6 o'clock it is, then. I shall look forward to it.
I thought perhaps the cordon bleu, my lord.
That'll do splendidly.
Very good, my lord. I shall decant it at once.
Oh, and make some of that filthy Turkish coffee for Mr. Urquhart. I'll have my usual mocha.
My lord.
My dear Lord Peter, all that you've been saying for the last hour regarding my unfortunate cousin's demise is
Most interesting, but really there is nothing fresh there, is there? You know, these really are excellent. Excellent. The genuine Eastern variety.
Bunter's choice. I'll tell him it was appreciated. Perhaps I'd better come to the latest discoveries. Megatherium Trust, for example.
Megatherium Trust?
Played pretty steeply there, didn't you?
I had some shares in it, yes.
Some losses? Best part of £50,000, I'd say.
£50,000? But that's ridiculous.
About the same amount as was left to Philip Boyes in the genuine will, the original will, drawn up by you under Mrs. Rayburn's instructions. Now, in the phony will, it was stated that nothing should be left to any member of the Boyes family on account of the abominable treatment meted out by that family to Mrs. Rayburn. But, I quote from the genuine will, "The greater part of the property is left to Philip Boyes, in token that the testatrix forgives the ill treatment meted out to her by his family, for which he, Philip, wasn't responsible."
May I ask how you have obtained this very remarkable information?
The police. Wonderful thing, police organizations. Remarkable what they can come up with when they put their minds to it. More coffee?
No, thank you.
You're not denying any of this, I assume?
Well, I'm listening. When you have finished this extraordinary statement, I may perhaps discover what it is I have to deny.
Simply the poisoning of Philip Boyes. You must admit the motive is there.
Well, allowing that this preposterous accusation were true, which I must emphatically deny, I would be most interested to know how you imagine that I administered the arsenic. Now, have you worked out something ingenious for that?
It was, in fact, the whole episode of the meal, with a careful accounting for every dish, to support the idea that nothing could possibly contain poison, that attracted my attention to you right from the start. It was the omelette, wasn't it?
The omelette? Oh, that's ridiculous. Well, I mean, I ate it with absolutely no ill effects, and damn it, my cousin made it himself.
So he did. 4 eggs, if I remember rightly. I think I'm also right in saying that one of them was cracked when they were brought to the table.
Well, possibly, I don't remember.
But Hannah Westlock does.
No.
It is, in fact, quite easy to introduce a little powdered arsenic into a cracked egg. I've made the same experiment myself.
Are you suggesting that in whisking 4 eggs together, one particular poisoned egg was somehow kept miraculously separated from the rest and deposited with this load of arsenic at one end of the omelette only? Or that my cousin deliberately helped himself to the poisoned end and left the rest to me?
Not at all. I'm merely suggesting that the arsenic was in the omelette and came there by way of the egg.
Well, there seems to be flaws in your theory as well as in the eggs.
Continuing on the subject of omelettes, that is to say, arsenic, it's not good for people in the general way, as you know, but there are these tiresome Syrian peasants one reads about so much who take it for fun. Good for the wind, they say, clears the complexion, keeps the hair sleek. They give it to their horses for the same reason. Not that horses have complexions, of course, though hair, certainly. And as we know, wind. But I digress.
No, most interesting.
And it is attested that that horrid man, Maybrick, increased the dose of liquor arsenicalis taken in a tonic over a period of 18 months by 75%. That's enough to kill an ordinary person. But you know all this.
I certainly do not.
Well, you see, it occurred to me, old thing, that if you'd had the idea to give yourself an immunization, you could easily enjoy a jolly old arsenical omelette with a friend. It would kill him, and it wouldn't hurt you.
This is a monstrous accusation.
Then how do you account for the packet of arsenic found in your office? And how do you account for this? Clippings of your hair and nails, by kind permission of your pretty little manicurist Susie, and bung full of arsenic. Explain that, if you will, Mr. Norman Urquhart.
I have for some time been taking a medicine containing slight traces of arsenic. Dr. Granger will furnish you with a prescription that may have left a deposit in my hair and skin. I repeat, this is a monstrous accusation.
And how is it that tonight you have taken a dose of arsenic sufficient to kill 2 or 3 ordinary people? The sweetmeats you've been guzzling for the last hour and a half are smothered in white arsenic. You should have been rolling about in agony for the last hour.
Damn you, Wimsey! You've tricked me. You've got me by a vile, damnable trick.
Yes, we have got you, Urquhart. We certainly have got you.
It's all right. It's only icing sugar.
Oh, damn you. Damn you. Damn you!
I understand, my lord, that further information has come to the police which definitely proves the entire innocence of my client. I also understand, my lord, that a further arrest has been made and that an inquiry will follow. My lord, this lady must go forth into the world acquitted, not only at this bar, but at the bar of public opinion. Any ambiguity would be intolerable. And I'm quite sure, my lord, that I have the support of the Attorney General's office for what I say.
By all means. I am instructed to say, my lord, that in withdrawing the charge against the prisoner, the Crown proceeds from a complete conviction of her innocence and offers no evidence against her.
I am very glad to hear it. Prisoner at the bar, the Crown, by unreservedly withdrawing this dreadful charge against you, have demonstrated your innocence in the clearest possible way. After this, nobody will be able to suppose that the slightest imputation rests upon you. And I most heartily congratulate you on this very satisfactory ending to your long ordeal.
Telephone you. Maybe she can have tea. My dear.
Goodbye.
Thank you very much. I'm going away. I've always wanted to travel. To Greece, Venice.
You're such a romantic, Harriet. At least I can make you laugh.
And surely that's better than tears.